Mr. Adeola Ajayi is the new Director General of the Department of State Security. Following his appointment by President Bola Tinubu, he brings over 30 years of experience in the spy service with a remarkable record on his job trail. In fact, one may not be too far off if he is described as a round peg in a round hole. With insecurity being one of Nigeria's biggest challenges, all eyes are now focused on him to see what he will do differently from his predecessors to achieve visible results in tackling Nigeria's emergency security challenges. President Tinubu has also tasked him to work assiduously to reposition the DSS and boost intelligence gathering. Joining us via Zoom from New York for this conversation is a security expert and a former assistant director of the DSS, Dennis Amachree. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. So let's start with your reaction to a video, going around on social media about staff of the DSS rejoicing after the resignation of the former DSS boss. From an in-house perspective, can you describe the former DSS boss, Yusuf Bichi?
Thank you very much for having me. Yusuf Bichi has done his bit. I think he's done, during those trying times, he was the DG of the SSS, and he's done his own bit. And of course, right now, you will see the more jubilation because of the new injection of new blood into the intelligence community. Tosin Ajayi is a well-grounded professional. I know him personally, and I think he will do a good job. The job is tasking. It's very tasking for all over the country, but I think getting ready, I think he's prepared. He's prepared to handle it in a very, very successful way. I wish him luck.
Making reference to saying that people were jubilating, although some people were saying that the videos making round on social media, it was as a result of the fact that others, the previous DSS leadership was, there were allegations of cronyism, unprofessional conduct, and not really delivering on the mandate that was actually saddled with it. But then they coming in, others are saying no, that the videos we saw is just the people that worked with him in Kogi State and are happy that, their head has now been made the DG. So looking at that, and based on the fact that you have understanding of the DSS, your own experience with the DSS, how do you see the tasks and the challenges ahead of the new leadership of the DSS vis-a-vis the experience of the recently eased as administration?
The video has been trending. Even when I first saw it, I was asking, and of course somebody pointed it out to me that it was the video of the Kogi State Command. I am not very, very much in support of it, and I've expressed that to some people, because you see, those staff you have seen in that video are classified staff. They are undercover agents, and we understand, yes, people could jubilate because this is not the first time when the DG is changed and people really, really get excited. But putting it on social media, I think, is what I am very much against. But yes, it's okay. People are happy because for example, their own boss, who was there with them, is now the Director General of the whole country, of the whole organization. I think it's a good feeling for them. So I think it's all right, except for just that small misgiving.
And the president was, very clear during his appointment that it should actually ensure that the security architecture in the nation, well, in collaboration with other agencies, is very tight. So what should be the first, point of call for him as he resumes office?
Well, you see, intelligence gathering and dissemination is not something that one agency alone can do. Remember, we have the DSS, we have the NIA, and then, of course, we have the DIA. And they are working in collaboration with other security agencies, especially during this period. So we expect more collaboration with others, other security agencies or sister agencies under the Office of the National Security Advisor, because you see, the National Security Advisor is the clearinghouse for intelligence, and then, of course, national security operations, including the military. So I think everybody working in signage should be able to clear this problem. We've tackled this problem for more than years, more than decades. And I think it's high time, with the injection of new blood, who are going to bring new strategies and then, of course, new professional outlook in dealing with it. And then, of course, using new technology, artificial intelligence and new technology. I think we should get a very good result from what we've been tackling with.
So with the DSS, focusing largely on domestic, intelligence, and the NIA, looking outwardly, talking about international intelligence and all of that. But if you look at the NIA, it has actually faced criticism not only recently, but over the time for its handling of high-profile cases. And so if you look at the new DG, what do you consider for him as reforms for him to prioritize in order to regain the public trust in this agency?
Well, one important thing is for him he has a lot to do. He also have a domestic problem to solve, and that will be the welfare of his people. In the military and even in the intelligence agency, welfare of the people, those workers, is the most important, because when you take care of their welfare, they are ready to do everything, including, at the risk of their own lives, So you should go in quickly and look at the welfare. That's number one. Number two, I will expect him to reorganize the service, reorganize it in a very quick and professional way, where he also will put the round peg in round holes, and make sure that the DSS is a representation of what Nigeria should be, because we have everybody. I remember when I was recruited, 5 people from each state were recruited, and we all went through the training process and then came out. So you find out that in our group, you find out there are a proper representation of all parts of Nigeria. So I think that's another thing that he has to do. And then, of course, recruitment, very, very important. He should look at it very, very closely. Because when it comes to the intelligence agency, it's not civil service. It is not civil service at all. It is an intelligence agency. And those who are going to come to work in that agency should be well-grounded, at least when you're coming, academically, you should be well-grounded. And then, of course, you go through the rigorous one-year training that will give you 1 year or 6 months training that will give you or introduce you to all ramifications of the intelligence tradecraft. So it is very, very important that these people are, allowed to go through this. One important thing I would like to add at this time, as I said, The DSS is an intelligence agency, and we will not want, or for the success of that agency, please, let's keep politics out of it. Keep politics out of it, because politicians tend to, be very, very to infiltrate or infringe on the activities of the service. And I think this is something that with a new man, I think I will say it right now clearly. And when Tosin takes over, he should go and talk to the president about it and let them know, because there is this tendency, if there is going to be a recruitment, you see a senator sending a list of 20 people there, a legislator sending his own, and stuff like that. We want the service to recruit his own people, vet their own people, and they are not biased. They'll take from everywhere in the country, but they have to be the right people in the right roles.
There's still so many concerns about how this will actually work. Some persons are talking about the mode of operation of the DSS in the past few years, and how they can distance themselves from politics. So in terms of the operation, what more should be done, and how possible is it really to actually distance themselves from political interference?
One thing about security that is very, very unique is that it is separate and different from politics, but it operates in a political environment, So it's like football players who are like the security of the country, then they are operating or playing in a stadium, which is politics, and of course they play with politicians. They play their game with politicians. Now, the point is that security agencies are not supposed to be, if they are going to be efficient and effective, are not supposed to be an appendage of the political system, or not the system, but a particular political figure, because that is the problem that we've been having all over the world. And even in the United States, what they did was, separate them from the political leadership. Separate them. You have the FBI here in the United States, the CIA. None of them report directly to the president, so that he cannot use it the way he wants to, because there is a tendency in Nigeria for people to misuse or abuse the security system. And that is the problem we're having with state police right now, where, many people are against it. Many people want it to happen. Some people are hungrily waiting for it to happen so that they can have their own police. And why do they want to do that? They want to have that police to maybe deal with their political opponents. And that is not supposed to be.
That's right. So if you look at the front page of Business Day newspaper, it actually reports on the reason, or one of the reasons why Mr. Rufai and Mr. Bichi were eased out. They said it's over presidential jet seizure and poor intelligence. So if that's anything to go by, in light of the security breaches and the like, how do you think the new DGs can leverage leverage technology and international cooperation to strengthen Nigeria's intelligence capabilities and stay ahead of threats? Because if you look at that, they expect that they are supposed to know about things that would happen, and then definitely give the president or the relevant authority or the agencies intelligence in order to avert some of these national and international embarrassments that the country recently experienced.
In the process or the activities of an intelligence agency, there could be some kind of activities that didn't go very successful, and that will happen because they are Nigerians. Remember, don't think that these are angels who are in the intelligence agency and they cannot do any wrong. So whatever the reasons why they were eased out, I don't want to depend on, all those kind of rumors or whatever. I remember very, very well when the president came into power, when he was elected, there was this announcement, the very first announcement that he made. And if you remember very well, he said that he was going to rejig the security infrastructure. In fact, I was worried because it was taking him time to do that, especially in the police. But gradually, I think he's going ahead and, first of all, removing the leadership, bringing new leadership with new perspective, and the police itself. We're expecting state police. We are really still expecting state police. And then, of course, the use of technology. Because I think the old ways, I remember, when we were cadet officers, young officers in the service, the way we collect our own information, when we were, selling newspapers in the streets of Lagos, selling ice cream, because we are surveilling a particular house or a particular place. But these days, you don't need to do that because with the use of technology now, there are so many things that you can do, and they are all in the market. If they are not in the market, I think we should be friendly with some of the countries that sell them. And then we should be able to get those security technologies that we could use. Or we can develop our own. We can actually develop our own. But I think this is the time that we are going to get ourselves ready, prepare the intelligence agencies, the intelligence community as a whole, to a new level and then to a new, century. And I think there's a big job for the heads of the NIA, DSS, and DIA, including the police and the National Security Advisor.
All right, and that will be a conversation for another day. There are also prospects, discussions about the prospect of, interagency collaboration, even the police and other, parts of the intelligence community. But that's a fine place to end the conversation for today's security expert and a former Assistant Director of the DSS, Dennis Amachree. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much.